Hello, everybody. Welcome to livzenastrology. My name is Ella Ivy, and I'm here to do a energy update for the eclipse happening on 4/8. And check your local times for when it's going to be. I actually have I'm looking right now at a chart that I pulled up. It took me a while to figure out how to pull this up and do the screen share, but I really wanted everybody to kind of look at the configurations. I know this is a bit of a busy chart because I'm studying fixed stars. And so there's going to be the stars on here as well, the fixed stars. You can see these here. And of course, I have the asteroids on here. But I have this pulled up for it looks like 2:21 p.m., 32 seconds. This is the Eastern Standard Time. And the reason that time was significant because I'm looking at the exact conjunction between the sun in Aries, 19 degrees, 24 minutes, Chiron, 19 degrees, 24 minutes, and the moon, 19 degrees, 24 minutes. So for those who study numerology, we know that the numerology is very important, especially when looking at the transits, because numerology, the numbers denote frequencies. So the 1 and the 9, if you add those together, it's 10, which you bring it down to a single digit, it's the 1. So that's also a signifier for Aries, the first house, the first sign of the zodiac. So there's so many aspects pointing to new beginnings. And if you guys are into astrology and you know your charts, please look to see where Aries is in your chart. This is where the configuration of this transit will be happening. And we can see here that there's a stellium. So when 3 or more planets are in a sign, that's considered a stellium in astrology. So we've got a couple different stelliums happening right now. We see we've got Venus in Aries at 4 degrees. We've got the North Node, what we've come to learn in Aries at 15 degrees. And again, we've got Chiron at 19 degrees, which looks like a key, which we'll be going into in a few moments about there's a key, a door opening. And this is the key that's opening this door, is what I was seeing energetically. And then, of course, this is the symbol for Eris, which is Aries' sister, who's also the goddess of war. And we've got Mercury retrograde. So when you see the symbol here in this astrology report or this astrology software that I work with, when the number is in red, that means it's a retrograde. So we've got Mercury, how we think, our thought processes, how we speak, is in Aries, and it's retrograde right now at 24 degrees. And again, there's that 24, right? So 24 minutes, which goes down to a 6. When you do it numerologically, you break that down, you add the numbers together. And then there's a stellium happening too. You've got the midheaven, you've got Jupiter, you've got Black Moon Lilith, and you've got Uranus and Algor, which is a fixed star, also in Taurus. You've got that stellium happening there. So that's primarily what I wanted to focus on today. So again, if you wanted to look at your chart, see where Aries is transiting for you, because this is the place where new beginnings are happening, new doorways, new energies of portals, of frequencies are happening. Now, there's a lot happening on mainstream media right now, guys. CERN, you know, the media is telling us that CERN is getting ready to run some experiments, and because there's a portal opening, we've got NASA who are getting ready to fire off some rockets that day. We've got all kinds of players on the stage of life, if you will, that's using this portal day. So the ancestors, our inner gnosis, the collective energies of beings know that this is an important day. We also have, I believe, a comet that's going to be transiting to. It's called the Green Dragon, which again, we've got, or the Devil's comet. That's what it is. I call it the Green Dragon, but I think energetically it's because we're in the year of the Wood Dragon. So that's also symbolic. And the Green Devil, which is green is the heart, right? And you think of devil, which is lived backwards, is going to be seen as well as Jupiter in the sky is going to be very prevalent. So you see all these configurations happen. And I believe we also have a stellium too, we talked about. So you're going to be able to see these aspects happening in the sky. And so what does this all mean, right? Well, I can only speak to my own inner gnosis, my own tuning in, kind of tuning off the channels that are around me, because there's so many opinions and so many variations about how to use this energy. And in its base summary, what I can hypothesize for my own, again, my own gnosis, my own inner doing the deep dive and going inward. And its base fundamental, it's a doorway. It's a doorway that's opening. What's it opening to? What's on the other side of this doorway? It's where the sun and the moon come together, is aligned with earth, which is the heart. And we know right now that everything is a vibrational universe. It's all about frequency. It's about vibration. So there's lots of stories being told right now about this eclipse. And what story are you tuned into? I think of it like a Netflix movie. So there's different shows playing right now. What are you tuned into? What are you watching? Because that is your focus. That's the entertainment or the entrainment, right? Which is entering the mind, Aries, the head, which is going to be showing you a reality, a timeline, an appearance of a holographic form will appear before you through the eyes, which is also rules Aries. You know, the head rules Aries because it's the first sign in the zodiac. And if you look at it, it breaks down the body. The head is the Aries, and then the feet are Pisces, and everything in between are the signs that correspond to that. So what are you tuned into? Are you tuned into the drama? Again, if you look at it like a Netflix movie or some sort of streaming movie, right? What kind of movies do you like? Do you like horror films? Then that's the doorway you're going to enter into in this eclipse. Do you like romance comedies? Then that pretends a possible doorway opening for you, because Aries is ruled by Mars, which is our sexuality, or it's our sacred sexuality. It's our primordial life force energy. It is action, and it is energy without thought. Think of it like our instinctual nature. Do you like documentaries? Do you like science? What do you like as far as your entertainment? This is what's coming through. It just to kind of buffer you guys from all this hype about what this energy is, because guess what? Eclipses happen 2-3 times a year, every year. And yes, there are certain alignments where this one is special, where this one is a signifier, which is why all these events are happening right on the world stage, because people instinctively, again, our primordial instincts, Mars, our instincts are telling us this is big. There's something happening. There's something brewing. There's some form of energetic, I think of like a volcano or a lava. It's bubbling forth, right? So things have been brewing and stewing and boiling. And now the boiling point is going to happen, and it's going to be a climax. It's going to be the crescendo on 4-8. So energetically, we know that 4 is foundation in numerology, and 8 is infinity, which is loops, right? Which is, some people say abundance, but it's an abundance of what? An abundance of love, an abundance of trauma, an abundance of drama, an abundance of joy and bliss. Well, the choice point is yours. It's based on what you're doing right now in this here, in this now. How you're curating the body, what you're thinking about is what you're going to bring about. And that's going to signify which doorway you enter when this eclipse happens. Now, there's also varying opinions too. I've seen some posts, and some Native Americans, some ancestors say that it's a time to go inwards, that, you know, there's a varying opinion about whether or not to be outside when this eclipse is happening, or to be indoors and not be at the full frequency of the sun and the moon when this is happening, this recalibration. I'm going to leave that to your own gnosis to tune in to what that means for you. For me, I'm still fluctuating between whether I want to be outside or indoors. I don't know. I'm still being very present with the energy, very present with what I'm being downloaded in every now moment. But I will say that in preparation of this upcoming eclipse, I'm being very quiet. I'm really honoring my body because Aries rules the first house. And I went ahead and used this first house, 0 degrees Aries, just to kind of show as a correspondence to how the energy works. It's like a time clock. So really taking care of the body, because the first house is me, myself, I. It's the body. It's what you first see. It's also in the ascendant. So that's how we ascend our energy. So we are in an ascension process, while also simultaneously things are having to descend or disconfigure to reconfigure the energy. So this is how I am navigating these currents. And I just wanted to step on the world stage here and offer just some insights and just things that I'm doing. Again, there's no right or wrong way to navigate this eclipse. For people that are out there saying you have to do this, and the dogma that's surrounding this eclipse is, I rebel against that. I've got Aquarius 3rd house natally, so I tend to think differently about things and situations. I tend to tune into different programs. And my program right now is more about focused on the heart. It's focused on love. It's focused on creation. It's focused on change, that there is change happening right now. And what that change denotes is going to be how I feel, the vibration, how I'm playing this instrument, which is my body, which is the vessel, making sure that my vessel is tuned up, right? Because I think of it like an instrument. I'm playing this instrument and I need to make sure that I'm in tune. So what does that look like? Well, I've been working with tapping, again, working with the mind, Aries, what I'm projecting, what I'm seeing, how I feel in my body, taking time for myself, doing my practices, staying steadfast in what makes me feel good, eating and consuming those things that are nurturing, that are supportive to my immune system, to my digestion. Hydrating is very important because eclipses, with the solar eclipse, there's a lot of fiery energy happening, especially since we're in the year of the wood dragon. So there's a lot of energy to balance out that fire. We need water and earth to ground. Again, these are practices I say in every podcast, every energy report, but it's because they work. The Occam's razor of spirituality is the simplest explanation tends to be the correct, in my understanding and just my navigating these realms. So it was interesting too that just pay attention also that the ley lines that are happening within you are shifting. So I was in Texas up until 2 days ago, and then I was told to come here to Florida for the eclipse. Well, I had planned on being in Austin, Texas during the eclipse, and my guides were like, nope, you're going to Florida. You need to be by the ocean. You need to be by the sea, by the water. And you guys can check out my page too. I just did a post about this eclipse energy. It's called the Hum movement, Humans Uniting. I think it's Humans Uniting something. Anyway, it's the Hum. And so at the exact eclipse time, we're asking humanity, or this organization is asking humanity to hum during the exact point together to vibrate out harmony and unity and balance. Oh, Humans Uniting Movement, I think is what it is, Hum. Anyway, the intention is for these creators is to bring more balance and harmony through the voice box, through your own, again, vibration. And we're doing it in unity. We're doing it together as a collective during this time, during this portal window. So whether you decide to be outside in the eclipse to view it with your glasses, don't look at the sun. You don't want to injure yourself, right? So make sure that you have the proper gear if you decide to go outside, or if you're inside, being very contemplative, very quiet. Turn off the television, turn off distractions if you want. This is how I'm going to be utilizing the energy. And this is an invitation just to hum, and the humming will create the vibration and setting the intention of bringing balance and harmony to our planet, not just to our earth, but to all the corresponding galaxies around us. Now we are no we know we are quantum energy. Everything that we do here, we're also doing for the bigger collective. We are felt everywhere in the universe. The universe is inside of us. We are intimately and deeply connected. And so our primordial life force energy is being asked to be tuned in to the energetics, the surrounding galaxies, primordial life force energy, to harmonize. And so there's a lot of conflict happening on the world stage right now because there's a dissolution, there's a dissolving of these energies that happen. Just like, the death process, right? We have seasons, we have cycles where there is a birth, a life, and a death process. And so this is happening right now while there is something ending simultaneously. I think about snake eating itself, right? There's this ending happening, but there's this beginning happening simultaneously. And again, this movement is like a doorway. You're walking through a door, you're ending a chapter. Actually, you're ending a book. You're ending a cycle. So you think of like our lives are like stories in a book. Well, there's some endings in cycles that are chapters that ends, but what I'm saying is this is a whole book that's ending. This is, the first episode or the third episode or however many episodes, incarnations you've been on this planet, that book is ending and a whole new book is starting. And that book is being written, first of all, by your words, Mercury. Retrograde, it's meaning we have to go in, redo, restructure, reorganize. So being very diligent about the words you're using, the spells you're creating, the spell casting you're using, being very diligent to, before you project fear or whatever it is that's creating imbalance in the body, just know that you are a very powerful creator. Mars energy can be the warrior. So this is the time of the peaceful warrior, right? We together as a collective have the opportunity to bring in a new chapter, a new epoch of harmony and balance and the golden era that none of us in this world have ever seen, that maybe have even a hard time imagining. How could there be peace on this earth? What is this earth like without warfare? Can you imagine that? Can you use the mind, Mercury, Aries, to visualize a world without war, a world without conflict where we have to harm each other? Can we have compassionate communication where, yeah, there's going to be disagreements. There's not always going to be seeing eye to eye, but is there a way to bridge these opposing viewpoints, which is really all just love, right? We talk about the Hermetic principles and opposition energy, these laws of polarity. And it's funny that I mentioned bridge because now we're seeing on the world stage how a bridge just collapsed, right? And we talk about on this channel, Livzenastrology, that all is self. So as it is above, so it is below. As it is within, so it is without. So there's this bridge that just got damaged, which I see the bridge as the corpus callostrum, which is the middle point in the hemispheres, right? That there is a movement on this planet to dissolve that bridge, to create imbalance. The things can't go across that bridge harmonically, right? And again, these are just old aspects of selves that are falling away that have been fed by warfare, that have, the Kundalini has been activated through division, that the war machines, the money, which is Jupiter, also in Taurus, has been curated by conflict. So is there another way to generate abundance? Is there another way to generate money outside of war? These are questions we can be asking, even if we've never seen it, even if we have a hard time imagining what a life would look like without war, and how money could be redistributed in a more harmonic, balanced, even way, where all of us could could experience abundance on a level that, again, most of us can't even imagine because we haven't been able to see or visualize. But this is the time right now through your imagination station. Can you imagine an earth where we're all abundant? And abundance looks different for everybody, right? It's not about all of us living in a mansion and having these sports cars. For some of us, it might be, and that's okay. But for some of us, abundance may be just not having our bodies hurt, having fresh water, having fresh air to breathe, having clean food without all these chemicals that have been eroding our soil. And now there's this new technology, this new awareness. Again, if you study the works of Dr. Zach Brown and Robert Edward Grant, and even Aubrey Marcus, even Mateos Stefano, these are some of the podcasters and way showers that I follow that are speaking a new language on how humanity can be, the potentiality. They're speaking, Robert Edward Grant is a polymath, so he comes from different points of the fractal, not just mathematics, but he comes from science, he comes from music. So we're starting to see that we're all of it and how it's all integrated. We are an integrative species. We are a synchronistic, collaborative species. It's not about competition anymore. The competing model is what's dissolving. That's the door. That's what we're leaving. So as we're entering into a new chapter or portal, the potential for harmony, for coexistence, for cooperation, and for collaboration, these are the entryways that you can enter into if you choose it. Again, we have free will, right? So, and there's some of us that may not choose it. Some of us may enjoy the status quo and want to keep warfare, want to keep profiteering from war, and that's okay too. All is needed, right? Everything is a balance of the shadow and the light. And if you're still playing with these words of good or bad or right or wrong, these are all aspects of self, that multidimensional frequencies and aspects that it's all needed for us to have contrast, for us to be able to see ourselves, for us to be able to tune in and reach these uncharted expressions of joy and bliss. But you would have had to have navigated sorrow and suffering to be able to ascend to these higher or more, the higher frequencies. Low frequencies are not bad. That the lowest frequencies are the frequencies of the earth, right? So think of music, like you need the low notes and you need the high notes when you're playing this beautiful song to keep it all in balance. But what I am offering is there has been a dissonance or a discordance, or think of like we've been playing out of tune, if you will, and creating distortion in the field. And when you're in this distorted energy, it's hard to listen to. It's uncomfortable in the body. Nobody likes to listen to distortion. So this is an invitation to say, okay, I'm exiting. I choose to exit this field of distortion and to walk in through this portal, this gateway of energy, of unity, of connection, of collaboration, even if I've never witnessed it before, even if I don't know what that looks like. Better the angel I know or don't know than the devil I know. And it's inverted, right? Because a lot of us are overcoming addiction to suffering. And this is something to really tune into to yourself, that perhaps your Kundalini life force energy, which is very Mars in nature, has been harnessed for suffering. That the mind, in my own gnosis and just understanding how the mind works for me, can see that it's very programmable. Our mind is very programmable, and it can be very susceptible to addictions. That almost like the mind is created to be addicted to something in its own way. So we're perhaps, as humanity, as a collective, we've been addicted to suffering, to warfare, to profiteering through war, through the monetary system of how we've used our resources, how we've cultivated our soil, our food, our water, our education system. All these things were in a certain frequency. And now we just have to, through our imagination, Pisces, and this is also, we can see too, there's a conjunction between Mars, which is in Pisces, and Saturn. So Saturn, I think of it like a womb. Some astrologers say it's boundaries, it's It's the container. Well, a womb is a container. It houses a child. And we are all giving birth to our new sense of identity, because Aries is the I am, right? It's the I am presence. I am, and whatever follows the I am will be. That's how powerful of a creator we all are. So really harnessing the power of the I am right now and moving into the we are, because as you are, so we will all be. And we are individual beings having a collective experience, but still as individuals. But what you do as an individual matters to the collective energy, right? So this is also that polarity, this divine dichotomy that we're navigating through, that we're aware of what is and what isn't at the same time. So we're also rectifying, again, these poles of consciousness. And I would invite you to study the Hermetic principles to get more deep into that field of gnosis, that way to describe energy and how energy operates. I would also invite you to look at the Emerald tablets. Again, you can look all this up on YouTube. This is nothing, or you know, all the Akashic records right now, the internet, the web of energy, this field of energy is accessible now. It's been accessible. It's how you're navigating the energy. So has your energy been ensnared in these nets, these confining nets? I think of it like the Fisher of Men, right? We're leaving Pisces, which is the age of spirituality, but it's also the age of illusion, right? Because every aspect, every sign has a shadow and an opportunity aspect. And again, both is needed, because you can't see one without the other. So we need the shadow. So we're leaving the shadow of Pisces, going into now, or the Kali Yuga phase. And again, you can check all this out. This is part of the progression of the equinoxes, and how we were furthest away from our central sun. And now we're getting closer to our central sun through each per sun, because each of us have a sun, right? Which is our solar plexus. And that's why they call it the soul. The solar, which is the stomach. There's a lot of beautiful nerves in this part of the body, which is, they also talk about our gut, right? If you have instincts, you know, I had a gut instinct about something. Well, that's where you're feeling it, in your sun. Also the soles of your feet. So these are just points of the fractal to look at as you're navigating your own body. And what I've been told to do as well is to honor my body more than I've ever honored my body before, even if it's uncomfortable. And this is a part of Aries too that's being asked, that also may trigger some people when I use this word, but I'm trying to think of another word that perhaps embodies it. But to me, it's a form of being selfish. You have to take care of yourself first in order to take care of the other. And again, this is an inversion. We've been taught to take care of the other first, right? To be of service. This is very Pisces. So coming out of that Piscean realm of to be of service, to be a martyr, perhaps, to put other people's needs above your own, that actually is doing a disservice now to the, as far as the energy field that we're in right now. It no longer makes sense to do that. We're being asked to invert or revert that energy and say, no, this solar eclipse is saying, no, you need to take care of yourself first. You need to make sure that you're properly hydrated and giving yourself all the things that make you feel good, and not through addiction. You have to use discernment about the things you're addicted to. It's not if you're addicted to something, it's what you are addicted to. And can you be addicted to feeling good without escaping, without leaving your body, without being disassociative, right? This is how we fractal out our energy, because when trauma or things happen in the body through our relationships coming out of Libra, then we want to disassociate. We want to leave. We want to fractal ourselves out. We want to take drugs or alcohol or substances, which is alchemy, to get rid of that trauma, or to escape or leave that trauma, or have that, you know, by leaving our bodies. Well, with this Aries configuration, it's actually saying, no, you need to step into your body. You need to actually take up space in your body and push out all this trauma, all these energies, by taking up more space in your body, by being embodied. So this is also Uranus and Jupiter right now in Taurus, and Taurus is the body. It has to do with all the senses. So it's asking you to come back to yourself, to come back to the I am. And because it's conjunct Chiron, Now we know Chiron is in astrology, the story of Chiron is he was a master healer. And he had actually had wounds on himself that he could not heal because he was immortal. And so he was in suffering, but in that suffering, he was on a quest to learn how to heal. So he was able to heal and help so many beings around him because he was on the quest to heal himself. And this is an invitation right now where Aries with this Chiron, and if you look at the glyph of Chiron, it's a key. So this is the key that's opening up this doorway that's showing, look, we've had wounds as a collective. We've had wounds of warfare. We've had wounds of the masculine. And the masculine, I'm not speaking in terms of gender. I'm speaking in terms of frequency. So the masculine is our electric aspect of ourselves. We are bioelectrical beings. The magnetic is the feminine aspect, and the masculine is the electric aspect. So I think of like neural pathways, rewiring parts of us that have been, again, this disassociation where maybe our synapses weren't firing correctly because our electrical currents were not properly grounded into our bodies because we've been fractalized, we've been fractaled out. So how can we reassimilate? How can we bring these energies back to ourselves through the magnetics? And you can even work with magnets, right? There's a whole section on magnetic therapy. And now that I've moved back to Florida here, I'm going to be working with our 3 miracles and partnering up. And I know they have a whole magnetic therapy section, right? So this is the time right now, especially since Pluto's in Aquarius, to be utilizing technology, be utilizing the medicine of frequency, of sound, of light in a new way. There's all kinds of technological advancements and a release of these energies. So in other words, we may have already had these technologies, but they have been confined. They have been restricted. We just left Pluto in Capricorn, right? So they have been bound through these governing systems as a form of control. So this is also what's collapsing. We're not right now. We're seeing these governing systems that are loosening the stronghold they've had because it's time now as humanities. We said, okay, we don't need you to control that aspect anymore. We're ready to take up more responsibility, which is Saturn, Pisces. We are ready to be more spiritually responsible for our lives. We are ready to step into a new field of collaboration and cooperation, unity consciousness, which is Pisces. And with Mars, we're ready to take action on being unified. We are ready to take action on being unified. So this is what this humming, this is part of this frequency, vibration, sound that we're getting ready to emit as a collective with the intention of harmonizing ourselves and thus harmonizing the collective energies around us. Think of it like a tourist field. Again, I would study some of Dan Winter's stuff and the way he speaks on vibration and frequency. And there's a whole, again, conversation. Nassim Harrison also talks about that, quantum energy. These are some of the way showers and people that I study, that I follow, that I listen to, that I'm a vibrational match with, that have been educating me on perhaps a new way of seeing our reality. And this is what's being called for right now, guys. If you want something different, you have to do something different. The same old is no longer going to be a vibrational match to where we're going. But I would say too that this is also a choice point. You can choose through your free will. If you would like to step into something new, something unexplored, unseen, yes, it can be scary, but we need the medicine of bravery to help us navigate our North Star, where we're headed. And we can do this together as a collective. So again, something as simple as humming, right? Humming with intention, humming to say, I want unity. I don't know what my life is going to look like. I don't necessarily know where I'm going or who I want to be, but I know I want more peace in my life. I know I want to be in more harmony with myself and my relationships. I want more love in my life. So maybe it's something as simple as taking the action of humming. And in that vibrational state, as we're stepping through that portal, as we're all humming together, then your life will appear before you without you having to do anything. It will just vibrate you to that next reality timeline because we are multidimensional beings. And so We get to choose which dimension we enter into based on how we're vibing. Your vibe is your tribe. And especially with Pluto and Aquarius, this is the time for our collective energies to pull together and for us to do this as a community, community, to commune together, to commune in nature, to clean up our soil, to clean up our guts, to clean up our food and our air, because we all want this. Every single aspect of humanity wants health. They want to feel healthy. And we want a new way of doing business, right? We want the business of business. And so now we're seeing more of a collective energy as we're not spending money on these corporate giant big entities anymore, because we're seeing that that's like a computer program. It's a corrupted file. All those files have been corrupted in the way that money has been used, the way currency, which is electrical, right? The masculine has been harnessed in a distorted way. So this is the time for us right now, through our heart space, to imagine, to feel into what it would be like to be supported, to have everything you need when you need it, to have a healthier body, to have, again, healthier resources, water, food, air, to have our children robust and education systems that are for the benefit of everyone, not just repeating old indoctrination stories that have just been as a way to create a workforce. It's not allowing for creativity. And this is also what Aries is asking for, is we need to be more creative in how we source our energy and how we express ourselves. Because if you study the Mayan calendar system, we're leaving where time is money. Now it's time is art. And art, as you generate more artistic endeavors and create more new technologies, people will pour currency into you because they want to see your expression. They want to see your own unique, individuated art forms that can contribute and participate to the whole of humanity in a harmonious and beautiful way that will uplift humanity. This is where we're going. This is how I see all of us stepping into. And those of you that are a vibrational match to this channel, a lot of us that are here, first of all, thank you for being here, and thank you for tuning into my own voice box and my words. And if it's a vibrational match to you and what you want to experience, then please reach out, connect to livzenastrology, and connect to those organizations that are here to bring harmony and balance for all of us. So again, check out Dr. Zach Bush. He's got a lot of different organizations he's a part of as far as soil regeneration, which I find very important. There's also a movement right now where all of us are being told to start growing gardens in our own front yard. So we need to take back the control of how we source our food. So there's going to be law changes. There's going to be changes in power that we're going to be seeing. So that's what this eclipse energy is also going to be. We're going to be seeing that on the world stage. So this is right now even more important to get in community, collaborate with like-minded, like-hearted people who have those visions, and be of service. Show up empty-handed every day and say, okay, how do I need to be today for the collective? But make sure before you do that, you take care of yourself. So you're properly hydrating, you're moving your body in a way that feels good. You know, upon the grand rising, take care of you first, and then go out into your community and follow your joy bliss, follow your creative life force energy, and people will pour current into you. They will exchange currency in that way, because again, this is the new formula. This is the new formulation of humanity that we can step into in a big way if you want to use this energy, this eclipse energy entering this doorway in this capacity. So be very diligent about the programs you're watching. Be very diligent. I would even say too, if you can, take a day off of work. What if we all collectively decided, you know what? There's a lot happening on this day. There's a lot of frequencies and vibrations that are going on. I feel more safe to be in my body at home, in my own space, nurturing myself, nurturing my family, you know, spending time with your children. Don't watch the television. Perhaps if you want to be out in nature, you want to be out with the eclipse, you know, again, do your own due diligence and hum us into a new reality timeline. That's what I'll be doing. I'll be humming I'll be in my own lane. I'll be nurture. Actually, I'll be with Tanner. He's my companion, and he's very balanced and cool and awesome. And so, I'll just be hugging and just being in nature. That's how I'm choosing to use this energy, because I know on the other side of this portal will be a life that I would have never been able to imagine. And it's here. I sense it. I can't see it yet, because there's this dissolution happening and all these things have to go away. It's like this old cobweb, this old web of energy has to dissolve. Some people call it the matrix, which matrices are lattices, right? So it's a type of webbing that's dissolving. But on the other side of that, we are connecting to a frequency and a field of energy that is more connected to our organic intelligence. And the organic intelligence is unifying and connected to everything and everyone, and is already balanced. It's already harmonized. And so I'm really grateful and excited just to have the awareness. So grateful for awareness, grateful for awareness. That's what astrology offers, is just an awareness that we are connected to everything and everyone energetically. So plants come from planets, the stars are suns, which each of us have a per sun. We're each a star in our own right. So even how we see ourselves, our new identities are coming online. This is also Aries, right? The ID, new IDs, which is identities, is coming online. So following the I am presence, maybe write some things down. Who are you now? Who would you like to be? In your highest timeline vision, who would you like to embody? Even if you are not that yet, you can be, especially after entering this eclipse. This energy is neutral. It's just a portal. You get to decide where that doorway leads into, based on how you feel, based on the energy you're emitting, and based on the others that are around you. So I hope this serves you. I hope this gives you some insight into my own humble opinion, because like I said, there's so many varying opinions about what this energy can bring about. This is just my own navigation point, and it really is here to serve humanity, to help us all feel like we're not alone, that we've got this. We called each other into this experience. You chose to be here during this time and space. Don't forget, we're waking up to who we really are. So I'm excited to be waking up with you. I'm excited to be on this journey with you. I love you guys so much. And if you would like support and how to navigate your own birth chart, where this is showing up for you, please reach out. We're not meant to do this alone. This can be a very dense and harsh energy, especially if you're confused, if you're waking up and you're starting to see reality in a whole new way. For those of us that have been on this path for a while, I've completely lifted off the matrix since 2018. And so I've been navigating these fields for quite a while now. And I by no means have all the answers, but I've been on the quest to embody more and more of my authentic self, and to give permission to others to say, you get to be yourself in this lifetime, truly, outside of what you've been conditioned to be. You get to be who you really are. And it's time. The energy is asking for us, for all of us, to step into your authentic self, to be who you really have been chosen to come to be. And let's walk through this doorway together with grace and ease. Thank you so much for everybody that's watching in this now time moment, that's choosing into this frequency. And I love you guys, and we've got this. Hold each other. Even if you give yourself a big hug, you got this. You are held, you are loved, you are supported unconditionally. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. So much love to you. Bye.